Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Hello, everybody, and a huge thank you already to Josie, Reseller Road Trip Adventures, my friend. Thank you so much for trying to help us hit our goal. That's right, there's a goal. YouTube Daddy's newfangled inventions. I'm so happy to see you guys, and we do have a case. We do have a case, and an evening planned, but we could extend that evening if we hit our goal. That's the thought. Anyways, let's get right into it, though. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. I really do. I tried. You have to go, John has a channel, by the way. Go check out John's channel. We support each other around here, especially creatively, okay? And, John, what you have to do is, it's a setting. Honestly, ask AI how to allow other channels to raid you on YouTube via your studio, and it'll tell you. It's not difficult. Creepence doesn't know. He gets Grotto to deal with it. Aw, Sashina, so sweet to see you. I see Adam's here, Carla's here, Shane's here. Bill's making jokes as usual. But anyways. Oh, also, in the spirit of old traditions and new, why don't you tell me what you had for dinner? And if you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I am half hangry, but I'm drinking my first pop of the day, so my hanger will become less, possibly. We'll see. KFC. That sounds good. That sounds good, Chuck. Mr. Heroes. I don't know what that is. Is it a sandwich, Vicky? But it also, what I believe it is, sounds good. I want a chicken souvlaki wrap. I want two. Let's just be fucking real. I want two. And I want fries. And I want tzatziki sauce to dip them in. That's what I want for dinner. Oh, I want it so bad. I'd even put a few fries in one of my, maybe both of the wraps. Yes. Sorry. Okay, let's get watching this case. This guy's a bigger whiner than me, if you can fucking believe it. What? Yeah. I was going through my videos earlier today, my hoard. Going through my court hoard, which is something I hold dear. Something I hold so dear. Just like my boobs. That I was looking at it, and then I saw it, and I remembered, hearing it in real time. And I wanted to watch it with you guys. So, this is the only... Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to start with. So, this case I recorded in 2x speed, and I barely got it all. what I mean by that is the judge deleted it soon after, but I did get it. We're going to watch it in half speed, so it should sound mostly normal. But this judge we watch all the time, and you guys, I don't know if I caught it or if I was listening to it and finishing up something on the computer while I finalized the recording stuff, but she actually encouraged both people to be off camera when they weren't testifying, and I was a little taken aback. I was like, that's a new instruction. We don't usually hear her say this. And then as the hearing went on, it made a lot of sense. It seemed like she was trying to mitigate the issues of it's the gentleman here who seems to be quite agitated by the lady on the screen. And so I just want you guys to keep that in mind, that she asked them to turn off their cameras, which is rare for her. Hi, Bob. But without further ado, they weren't threatening each other. It's a little weirder than that. Again, this is a child custody, sort of, not custody. Oh, Bill, that's 2 out of 5. I try and set attainable goals. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you again, Josie. And Bill, nobody ever said you needed an extension, except perhaps an extension of your comedy hour, because you're always making us laugh. I'll say that. Also, if you're new here, that would be weird. Sorry. See, I make myself laugh. Anyway, subscribe again. And if you are one of the assholes who unsubscribed recently, I guess good riddance. Hi, Erica. You're just in time. We're about to start. Everybody buckle up, Buttercup.
Yes, ma'am.
Same questions. Do you, Ms. Thomas, you have any questions or concerns about the recording issues?
No, ma'am.
And you're consenting to go forward on Zoom today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me go move on to Ms. Teague. If you'll give me an opening statement, man, after you announce yourself.
Yes, Michaela Teague with the Office of the Attorney General. And we're here on a suit for modification and motion to confirm support arrearages that our office filed July 23rd, 2024. The parties actually have agreements on most of the issues. The only real issue is if today should be a temporary order or a final order. So mom is requesting a temporary order because dad currently is unemployed. However, both parties are in agreement to set their dad's gross at minimum wage with a child support at $248. And dad is requesting a final today with a finding of minimum wage at child support at $248. And the state is requesting a temporary order as well. With a comeback of August 14th at 8:30.
That's your recommendation. Okay, we'll look at it and you'll tell me, maybe you can tell me now how long this case has been pending. Have we had any prior hearings or settings with no?
This is a first setting, Judge, but it has been pending since July of 2024. It looks like both parties were served in August of 2024, so it's been pending for a couple of months now.
Well, it'll be almost a year, but more like 10 months.
Yeah.
You're
Yes.
2024, okay. And then no, we haven't taken it up, the merits or prior temporaries, obviously.
No, Judge.
Okay, then you may proceed with your witnesses. She's gonna call you one at a time. I don't know who she's calling first. So just the other one that's not talking, if you're not a witness, try to remain silent.
Carla, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. It says Sheba Dog clapping his hands. I count that. YouTube Daddy is so... I mean, I really want to be involved in the research study, YouTube Daddy. Please let me in so I can explain to you some of the issues with your problem. No, it's because it's $4.99 and the limit was $5. They don't give you very, like, open limits. It's not something I can talk about, but like I just said, I count it. Thank you, Carla. Streamlabs didn't even fucking say anything. Are Streamlabs and YouTube Daddy in collusion and making me itchy? Yes, I think they are. Secondly, thank you, Carla. I appreciate it. For my purposes, I feel like we're at 3. 3 out of the 5.
Don't try to interrupt. Don't try to tell me your side in the middle of the other person's side. I'm going to go orderly or stop you unless it's a valid legal objection. I can take it up. Otherwise, write notes if you want to remember what you want to say when it's your turn. And then I think I talked to both of you or mentioned the part about being off video or on video. Mr. Scott, do you have any preference for that or not?
For being off video.
Yeah, when she's testifying, you can be off video and vice versa. I like
It
to
doesn't
see
make
you when
no
you're
difference.
talking. I'm sorry, what?
It doesn't make me any difference. Whatever works
Okay.
best.
And Ms. Thomas, when people are testifying, I like to see them, to see their reactions when they're talking or answering questions. And then if it's not your turn, I don't mind you being off video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, that worked, Carla. That's like 3. See, YouTube Daddy don't get it. But I love the generosity and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love that. And reminder, this was recorded in 2x speed because I am only one woman. For now. I don't know what that even means. But I can only record in so much. So when I do it in 2x, sort of fucks with the reverb afterwards. I wish I knew how to deal with that, but I'm not a real YouTuber, so I don't. But also this dress is so cute. I love you guys so much. A clone or just another computer. And not ladylike, welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to Core Watchers Anonymous. Not so anonymous, baby. These stay up forever.
Then we'll go forward. We can call first and the other one can be off video.
I'm gonna call Miss Thomas first.
Okay. Mr. Scott, you can go off video.
Okay, Miss Thomas, can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Ashley Marie Thomas.
Okay, and I'm gonna run through some agreements here first. So are you in agreement to set Mr. Scott's gross monthly income at minimum wage, $12.56.67? Are
Yes.
you in agreement? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, and then are you in agreement to the child support being set at $248 a month?
Yes.
Okay. And do you currently carry the health insurance for the children?
Yes.
And is that at a cost of $314 per month for medical support?
Yes.
Did she just say $314 a month, Courtney? Thank you. Isn't it gorgeous? And we are so glad you're here. Honestly, if you look at it, we're just getting into it. I just knew we had to wait till Courtney was here. Also, I just made myself bigger. That's one of the only perks of this. Anyways, also, again, the judge never tells people to go off camera. It was so weird for me, and I was not understanding it. Just wait till you hear the Mr. testify.
Okay, and is it at a cost of $46 in dental support?
Correct.
Okay, and you carry this through your employer?
Yes.
Okay, and is it your position today to request a reimbursement amount from Mr. Scott at $57 a month
Yes.
for medical and $0 a month in dental?
Yes.
Okay,
For temporary.
yes,
Correct.
and
Okay.
yes, and your request today is for these to be temporary orders?
Correct.
Okay, and can you tell the court why you're requesting temporary orders?
One, because we have to, be financially responsible for our children. I've been carrying the weight this whole time, especially with medical. Both my kids have diagnoses, which have monthly needs and monthly costs. And I believe that temporary should be considered just to hold accountability. The actual amount itself is not my issue. It's the accountability part of the financial obligations.
Okay.
Upon reflection, what the fuck was that? Look at the judge's face too. Hi Billy, welcome. Oh yeah, I should start off this meeting properly. Hi, my name is Paisley. I am an addict. I record court every single day. And then I watch it with my friends in the evening where we laugh at people together. I do this every single day of my life for the most part for the past few years. And I've even met some of these people that I met on the internet in person. Again, I'm Paisley and I am powerless to my disease.
I'm hearing some voices that are not a witness. If you're
Again, that was me, Judge. I apologize. Again, my name is Paisley, and I have a court YouTube channel. No, but seriously, what was that voice?
For medical and $0 a month in dental.
Yes,
Okay.
for temporary.
Yes,
Correct.
and
Okay,
yes. And your request today is for these to be temporary orders?
correct.
Okay, and can you tell the court why you're requesting temporary orders?
One, because we have to, be financially responsible for our children. I've been carrying the weight this whole time, especially with medical. Both my kids have diagnoses, which have monthly needs and monthly costs. And I believe that temporary should be considered just to hold accountability. The actual amount itself is not my issue. It's the accountability part of the financial obligations.
Okay.
I'm hearing some voices that are not a witness. If you're gonna talk to anybody, one, they cannot be a witness because they're here with you.
Laura, that was the TV.
Oh, okay, I couldn't tell.
My
So,
bad. My bad. I just turned it off.
okay, if you want to stop your video, you can do that too, so it doesn't come through. I'm trying to record this and I don't want any problems with the recorder. Okay, thank you, Mr. Scott. He's off audio.
Me
So,
too, Judge.
Chief, where were you wanna?
Yes, I had one more question. Miss Thomas, is it your request today to not disclose your address, home address, phone number, and email address on this order?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a fear of imminent harm if Mr. Scott did know that information?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the court a little bit about that?
We currently have pending charges on with our case of a threat. He also has felony charges pending with his other kid's mom. The whole situation, my situation, happened based off of money. He had wanted me to forgive him for back pay. So financial thing is always a trigger, and I'm just not even willing to put myself or my kids at risk at this point.
Okay. And this pending case, do you know when it's supposed to, is there a final setting for it?
For mine, the pretrial, next setting is June 13th.
Nothing further, Judge.
Tell me how many kids you have together and how old are they, Miss Thomas? I'm aware of that.
We have 2 and 7 and 9.
Just 7 and 9. And y'all have been apart for a while, you and Mr. Scott?
Yes.
How long have you been separated?
Since 2019.
Okay. Okay, then Ms. Teague, you may call your next witness, and Ms. Thomas, if you want to go off video and audio, that would be fine. And you would return, Mr. Scott.
Here we
All right.
go.
All right, Mr. Scott, can you please state your name for the record?
Cameron Lawrence Noble Scott.
Okay. And do you have any other children outside the one in this case?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you have two in this case and one outside.
Yes,
Okay. How old is that other child?
he's 2.
Okay. I'm gonna get into some agreements now. So are you in agreement to set your gross monthly resources at minimum wage at $12.56.67?
Yep,
Okay, and are you in agreement to pay $248 a month in child support?
yep.
I'm sorry, was that a yes or a no?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Are you in agreement to reimburse mom $57 in
Yeah.
cash medical?
yeah,
Okay. And are you in agreement with mom keeping her information out of the order?
sure, be my guest.
Okay. As far as your job and your income, are you currently unemployed?
Yes,
Okay. Are you looking for a job?
I have, but due to certain situations, I have not been able to obtain a job because of the pending case, which is in the process of getting ready to be dismissed.
Okay. Do you do any sort of side jobs?
Yes, I cut grass.
Okay. And how much would you say you make, let's say every week cutting grass?
Probably about like $50 or so.
$50 a week?
Yeah,
Okay.
if that.
Are you looking for a job maybe at minimum wage?
But due to certain situations and certain people, I haven't been able to get one.
Okay. Have you had interviews?
I have, and I've had job offers, but due to certain situations, I've been getting turned down on job.
All right. Oh shit. He's on the move, folks. He's on the fucking move. Jesus Christ. I swear to God. He just starts. He sounds like a robot, but Shane, I swear to God, he sounds weird regardless of the recording. This is just partially his voice. Part of it, there is a little reverb. I don't know how to fix it. If you know how to fix it, let me know. I edit them, but the point being that when I recorded at 2x, it does give a little tinniness to it, but this guy's voice at the end of this video, I think we catch up eventually. We'll see. He just always sounds a little bit cray, allegedly, in my opinion.
Offers.
Okay. And is it your request today to do final orders?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell the court why?
The reason being why I would like to do final orders is because I have not been able to see my children for a whole year, and it's never been an issue for me to pay. At first, I was upset about how, hey, it's long, can you relinquish, or would you be willing to come up off of it and I'll take care of the medical? I don't have no issues with that, but now I'm having issues for you want these to be temporary orders, but I have not seen my kids in a year. And I've been trying to get a job. I've been trying to get a job and I can't get a job. And taking into consideration that I have, which is telling the truth, I have pending felony charges and I do have a felony, so I'm not allowed to work or get those jobs or whatever. I'm on food stamps. Pay my child who I see
Mr.
all the
Scott?
time.
Mr. Scott, Mr. Scott, you're breaking up right now, and I know you're walking around, so sometimes the internet gets sketchy if you're not in one spot. So can
Is
you?
that better?
Yes, it is. Now that you
Okay,
stop.
cool.
But I'm not sure what I missed. Did you catch all of his last sentences, or Miss Teague, or not?
I did not. Something about visitation and
I said,
medical.
I do not. I want it to be final, just for the simple reason being y'all had me written down for 974 for dang near a year, and I've not been working for a year. Um, just because of my current situation. I've also not seen my children for a year,
Okay.
and there has
And
not been protection order. So with that being said, since I can't get a job and I'm having to work minimum wage, minimum wage because that's all I'm going to be able to get right now. I would like these orders to be set. Just because of what I have going on in this case, I'm having to go in front of a jury trial. So
No.
that is the reason I'm asking. I have applied for jobs. But taking in consideration, I lost my job because of Ashley calling up to my job. I can't get jobs. So therefore, what I am saying, I would like my orders to be where they are at because I'm having to pick up side jobs to make ends meet.
Okay.
And
Um,
orders, they are set. They are literally
Miss-
set. And I've not seen my children in a year.
Okay, and Mr. Scott, let me ask you this. Do you know of any pending legal action currently, to hear the visitation issue of your children?
No, I don't have anything pending. I can see my kids. There was no protective order. There has not been a protective order. I have full access to my children. I've made multiple police reports against Ashley, just because I've not seen my children for within a year. She says it's because of legal action, because of this pending cases, and she feels fear for their safety. I've never put my kids in harm's way, and I'm not even going. I
You
did not
know,
go for her address.
Mr. Scott, do you know if Miss Thomas has filed anything as far as the issue of visitation?
She has not. I have, and
Um,
I've been.
Judge,
I,
I'd like you to take judicial notice of the court file that mom has filed a counter petition for visitation. I have explained to both of the parties that it won't be heard today. So they are aware that they
Can
need
you
to
hold-
have another setting for this.
And can you please hold her accountable for me not seeing my kids for a year? Hold that accountable. Hold that against the courtroom accountable for that, because you are not allowed unless there's a protective order set in place. You are not allowed, and there has not been a protective order.
Okay,
Whether you're paying or not paying, I am still able to have access to my children.
Mr. Scott, you're telling me things I already know, but let me stop you there. You don't have to tell me. I kind of been doing this for a while, so exactly what you're saying is true, all of that. However, I need you all to know that that visitation modification, this court won't be hearing that. I do not believe I have the authority to hear visitation mods. You have to go to other courts. There's lots of other courts for that, but not this one. I'm a volume docket. I'm charged with mainly child support. It includes visitation when it's an initial order. We have to do it. Don't interrupt me, Mr. Scott. I'm not done. And so here, it's just a strict modification of visitation. I cannot do today.
Okay, that's fine. Well, can we
Okay.
just keep it at that? Is fine, and that's fine. I'm agreeing to pay everything, and can we please just keep it at that? I do not believe in this should be temporary orders. I'm
I
done
get
talking.
that. I get that. You told me several times and the state's told me that. I'm trying to sort it out. So yes, thank you, sir. You finished your testimony. Unless
I'm
you have
done.
questions for him, Misty.
No more questions for Mr. Scott, no.
Okay, well, now I have a question or two for you, Mr. Scott. I just thought of a couple of things. I did
Don't
hear you
like
say that
this.
for a year you haven't been working and you're doing these side jobs. Is that true? Is that what I heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Before this mess happened or whatever set you to not have a job, what kind of jobs were you doing before?
I was making 80,000 a year.
Doing what, sir?
I'm a buyer, engineer buyer.
Engineer buyer?
Yes, so I work for semiconductors,
Okay.
applied
And,
materials, and cesium. I work for the U.S. Department of Defense and NASA.
and that all dried up a year ago.
Yes, I had to file unemployment. I lost my job. I really don't feel comfortable talking about it.
That's fine. I'm just trying to sort it out as far as what happened and why you didn't quit. You didn't because of child support or any of those things.
No.
Um,
If you've noticed in the past, even prior to me with me losing my job, I was still paying my child support with my unemployment.
and that's what you're charged to do, and that's a good thing. However, how old are you? Can you roughly tell me your age?
I'm 34, and I just paid a big lump sum of $6,000.
Total or monthly or what? What do you mean?
No, total. I just gave her a big lump sum.
Oh,
Yes,
for child support.
yes.
I thought you meant from your employer, your severance pay or something. I'm not sure what I thought. Okay, but it was the child support that you just paid. You told me you're 34. How long did you have the job any job that ranged in the 80,000 a year category?
I've had two to three jobs because I was working. Like I said, I'd go to different jobs and I work contracts. So they give me their price, and hey, I'm making this much, but I'm paying my child support.
Okay.
I've had two or three jobs like that,
And
multiple jobs actually.
are you talking about during this time period of the year of unemployment, or are you talking?
The year of unemployment. I've literally uh the year of unemployment. I've only had one, and then I worked there for 2 weeks, and then lost my job.
Okay, then what I was getting asked at was before the year went south this past year. Before that, how long were you making 80,000 a year? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years since your twenties, or
Probably about I want to say probably about a year and a half or two.
okay? And before that, what was your rate of pay somewhere else?
Before that, my rate of pay was 77.
Okay, still close to 80, but not quite. So, what was the first engineer job or any kind of job that made you?
I was at Applied Materials as a engineer coordinator for 3 years, and that's when I first got started off with um started off doing engineer coordinating when I first got put on child support. In there, I was making 26.50. From there, I had opportunity to
By 26.50, you mean an hour, or what's 26?
26.50 an hour. Yes,
And what was your first year pay at Applied Materials?
it was $26,
No,
and then they and then huh?
annual, roughly annual pay.
Annual probably about it was like 56, 57.
So it's gone up since you first started, but you don't have any of that anymore. Do you have a college degree?
I do not.
You just have a high school diploma?
Yes,
And did you go to any college or have any
I
associate?
went to Del Mar College. I'm an ex firefighter.
Okay. And you picked up skills like on your own, or how do you get trained for this kind of stuff? Or
Just I've always known a lot of people in the. As soon as I got out of the firefighting, I started to work at a semiconductor business, and I started to train, and I was good at what I was doing, and so I just made my way up the ladder. And then I had to take a few tests and certification tests to get certified.
okay. When was the last time you held a minimum wage job? Ever, or college or high school?
Probably high school.
Your first job out of college, you made how much? I mean, out of high school rather. How much were you making early on?
Right out of high school was probably 52.
Doing what?
As a firefighter.
Oh, okay. And you can't go back to firefighting even to
Um,
make that kind of income?
I can't. No, ma'am.
And why would that be?
Just because of what's on my record.
Okay. Okay,
And I much rather not. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being home every night, and being in the judicial system. Going on the recs and stuff. You kind of want to stay far away from that. It was good when you're younger and you don't have kids, but I have kids, and seeing going up on recs and seeing stuff like that. I just don't like doing that no more.
you're talking about the firefighting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But do you get, or do you have any idea that going from that kind of income to minimum wage job, that or minimum wage child support is just kind of a big drop?
Yes, ma'am, I'm totally aware of that, but I have to be real. I have to be real with myself. I can't right now. I can't get the big $120,000 job. I can't get any. I can't
I
get
didn't
any.
hear you were making that. I just heard 80, so that's still a
But
lot.
but I've had offers to where, hey, we'll offer you 120,000 a year, but I can't take it because of currently what I have against me, and it's pending. I haven't been found guilty, but it's pending, and so nobody is willing to give me a chance. I've even applied at Goodwill.
Okay, so when do you think all the legal actions are gonna end?
I probably I'm going to trial now for both cases.
Have they given you court dates for that?
Uh, they have not. I go back to court on May 7th and then sometime in June. But they said my trial could last anywhere for a year, just trying to get my name cleared and to get everything cleared. Like I don't mind paying the child support. It's not necessarily about the money. It's just that I have to be real with myself. And like I said, I have a whole nother son. And I try to make ends meet. I'm making the ends meet the best I can.
Okay. Has anybody talked to you in the, I mean, by anybody, the state that maybe, you might be underemployed with a minimum wage job, that there might be something you could do that's not $7.25 an hour for
I mean,
12,000 a year?
I've tried. I'm not even on. I've tried even at Whataburger.
Well, they pay more than 7.20.
Yes, and they do. But I still, if I can't even get a job at Whataburger,
Okay.
Okay, well, I've heard a lot of really good things about Whataburger. If Whataburger wants me to come out and try Whataburger, I would do that. I've been to Texas for much worse. But seriously, I'm not trying to be rude, but I do find it curious because I just know that there are jobs. You know, for example, washing dishes. That's you know, am I right, Brutal Bob? I don't know. You tell me. Somebody tell me. Like, it doesn't seem crazy to me that you can't find a job in the state of Texas making minimum wage. Hi, Christy, no worries. We're very close to making our goal officially in YouTube Daddy's eyes about watching another hearing after this. But let's see what the judge does with his behavior. I'm going to warn you. I believe at some point he gets frustrated in this hearing and begins to play video games while the judge is there.
at
But,
Whataburger, come on now.
there's a legal concept of underemployment, and so I'm trying to figure out if I do this, I'm shorting Miss Thomas because you're capable of making more, but I also know that maybe you can't do it right now, but in the reasonable future, it won't be any earlier than a year till the trials are.
Yeah, because that's how long my cases. I've talked to my lawyer, and you're saying you're helping Miss Thomas, but
Well, it's really your children that I'm charged with.
and I totally understand that, but I also take care of my kids outside of the paper and outside of that court order work that I also do besides the money.
Okay, well, I would tell you that it's important to pay the money, no matter what the number is.
I don't-
She gets to decide how to use it, not you.
I don't care how she uses it. That's not my issue. I'm not under her house. I'm not under her house. So I don't care about the money.
My point, Mr. Scott, is that whatever child support should be given to mom so she can make do with all the expenses she may have, not that you get to use part of your limited income to treat them, those kinds of things. If you have more money, you can do more, but a minimum wage job, that's just kind of,
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you made that comment. So how am I supposed to take care of my kids when I have them in my presence and my other son? Or how am I supposed to take care of my kids and be a father? Because black fathers get done dirty, and we get looked at funny when they're getting this, and when a trying father that's trying to see their kids, but the mother's holding them against because she's not getting money, because she's money hungry. So make that make sense.
no, none of this makes sense for people.
Okay, so let's get signed.
Okay, Mr. Scott,
Let's get sign this
I
paperwork.
gave you your
Give
chance.
me my paperwork so I can sign it. It's not gonna go my way. If I gotta do temporary, then I gotta do temporary. I'm really, quite frankly, done because it's obviously not gonna go my way.
Mr.
Because
Scott, Mr. Scott, you're not done until I say you're done. I'm trying to make a reasonable decision on this one issue where y'all are eons apart. Yes, it'd be easy for me to say, be done with it. Don't interrupt whoever's talking. I'd be happy to send you away. Yes, one less case in 3 months. But realistically, I don't have the ability to set cases for a year or 2 years, Ms. Thomas, either.
Okay.
No, hold on, Mr. Scott. I'm not done. You're done when I say you're done, and don't interrupt me. Anyway, And so it goes both ways. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What are the chances of me seeing you back here and you're in the same boat and then I can't change anything? However, the thing I could do, if this is a temporary order, I see you back here, is determine whether if you're not making the money you used to be making, that you're capable of making more than $7.25 an hour. And I can set child support based on that, based on underemployment. I can do that. I'm not doing that today because y'all have agreed to this. The only question is it final, is it temporary? Ms. Teague, you've heard all that. Do you have anything else to present through the witnesses?
No, Judge.
And what do you think? Explaining a closing argument, what can change in the next 3 months, even 6 months, but I don't have a calendar for next year. I don't have a calendar for the year after his or months after his criminal trials are over in a year. So I'm trying to figure out why I shouldn't do a final order versus the temporary. But y'all make the argument for me, Ms. G.
Yeah, and excuse me. I mean, the state is going to be requesting the temporary order to at least give time for dad to find a job. I mean, it looks like some of his criminal cases were just reported maybe last year. So I mean, yes, he's been given a year to find a job, but giving him at least one more chance to find a job. Hopefully we'll get a good child support amount for the kids in this case. So the state is just going to request maybe a temporary order this time to reevaluate in August. That'll give him, 4-ish months to find a job, maybe even if it is, $20 an hour doing something that he's not used to doing. As far as everything else, the parties are in agreement to the rest of the issues, and then the state is going to request to reserve the issue of arrears if it's a temporary order. If it's not a temporary order, then we'll submit into evidence of pay record and do a judgment as well.
Okay, and Mr. Thomas, let me ask you, I think Mr. Scott's made his position well known, and I know you just said you wanted a temporary order, but understanding that in 3 to 6 months, if not much has changed, may not be able to give you the child support you may be wanting at the 80,000 level if he's not making that. However, I can look at the issue of underemployment and figure something out that's not minimum wage and not maximum wage if he doesn't have it anymore. So, given that, what's your position today? Still that you want a temporary order?
Yeah, I would like a temporary order to hold accountability. If we come back and that's the case and situation is the same and you agree that you want a final, that makes sense. But I'd like the documentation of the accountability on actually trying.
Well, can you hold her accountable too then for not letting me see my kids? Take accountability of that for once.
Okay, Mr. Scott, I heard you. And the thing I can do is hear what the cases are before me. I can't grab something out of the air that's not on file, that's not been given notice to the other parties, and that's not set. So if you want me to hold her in contempt and put her in jail for not letting you visit, today's not the day. You'd have to file a pleading, you'd have to serve her with it, and you have to get in front of a judge to hear that. I don't hear contempt issues on visitation. Once I order visitation in the first instance, other courts can hear the rest of that. You can file and you can have another court hear it. So that's why I'm not hearing it today, because it's not properly before the court. Ms. Teague, anything else you want to say?
No, Judge.
Ms. Thomas, do you have a date on your visitation modification, or you just barely filed it?
From my understanding, they were waiting for I guess whatever's going on with here, because our case ended up getting put in as a counter petition. But then realizing that OAG doesn't do modification to visitation. So because there was a pending action, I guess that's why they ended up putting here. My direction was to wait until after this, and then we would go through district court with getting a hearing.
Mr. Thomas is correct. That is a court order. You're subject to abide by it like he is for the child support, and visitation and child support are not tied together. They are separate issues. And so unless you have a really valid reason for not allowing the visit,
I do.
well, I don't want to hear it, but I'm telling you, you might run the risk if you're also disobeying a court order. And if he files a contempt on you, you could be found in contempt. So I'm just telling you, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Both of you are under this order. You're supposed to obey it. And if you don't, you can find yourself on the other end of contempt charge in another court. I hear child support enforcement contempts, but not visitation contempts or visitation modifications. That's just the way this program has been set up. So we can get people child support now. They're important issues. It's just that they're not given to us after a certain point. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and enter a temporary order on the chance that something changes. But again, if not much changes, the best I can do is at least look at the underemployment issue. So hear that loud and clear, Mr. Scott. If you can find something, anything that's more than 725, I would urge that you do that and come in and say that's all you can find. Because if not, I'm very not likely to order minimum wage permanently, at least not at this point from what I've heard about your background. So if you have any witnesses you want to bring, or bring a stack of papers of all the places you've applied for and the different wages and that you've been denied, put it in writing and bring it to court. And I'll hear it at that time. So temporary order on all issues, we're reserving the issue that you've agreed to on the record. We're reserving the issue of arrears, judgments and payouts. And the reset is August 14th. Let me double check my calendar. I assume it's a good date.
A bit of a wild
I believe
case,
so,
eh?
Judge.
She pays docket at, you wanted it at 8:30, I presume.
Yes, 8:30. Yes, 8:30 on Zoom, August 14th.
Yeah, I'll be by Zoom again, correct. It'll be the same
Write that
Zoom
down,
ID you had
August
today,
14th,
however, it'll all be in
please.
writing. You're gonna put it in an email. Just anything coming in from the Texas Office of the Attorney General, that's a proposed order that you'll be looking through an electronic program called DocuSign. So review it, sign it. I'm rendering the order, which means I've approved your request and ruled on the issue that was contested. So I'm making a temporary order and you come back. But if you get a chance to review it, you only have about a week till next Wednesday. If you haven't signed off on the proposed written order, they're going to submit it to me on Thursday, a week from today, without your signature. I'll review it as well for accuracy. I took down notes, so, but it's now become my order. And if you don't sign it, I can still sign it without you, since it's been put on the record and y'all are in full notice of it. The only thing that we didn't say is there's also a provision for the insurance that whoever's supposed to carry the insurance is, if you let it lapse, then you're liable for 100% of the cost. And it also says that when you have the insurance, and it would be you, Miss Thomas, that he's obligated, and you need to hear this, Mr. Scott, 50/50. That's probably in your prior order, but that's going to be in there too, even though we didn't discuss it. That's just a given under the law, and that's what would be in the order, 50/50 of anything that's not covered by insurance. Okay, anything else, Steve?
No, Judge.
Anything else, Mr.
Uh,
Scott? You have any questions, Mr. Scott? Ms. Thomas, any questions?
No, no.
Then check your emails, maybe starting by 5 o'clock today. They might get it out. If not, tomorrow. Do try to review it and sign it if at all possible. If not, I'll get it in a week without your signature, and I'll review it for myself. Thank you, folks. You're excused. We see you back August 14th at 8:30. Your case is now set in stone. If you're not here, you can be defaulted. Mr. Scott already left the room. Ms. Thomas, you can follow. Good luck, and we'll
Okay.
see you in a few months.
Thank you,
See,
Judge.
I
Thank you,
made
the
that.
parties of
It
it.
was so quick. We never actually caught up. It ended and we were still at 2x. So we really just never caught up. Are we that close to making our goal? Oh, Carla! Carla just beat me. Thank you. I was just about to say, are we just 2 away? But now we are just 1 single teal super chat away from doing a whole new case. A totally different couple. All their dirty drama aired for all of us to judge, making us feel so much better about our life and choices along the way. You know, even if you yourself are going through something, when you see these cases, you think, God damn it. It's not that bad, is it? No. No, it's not. I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, see, if I was giving feedback to YouTube Daddy, which I don't know if they'll take it, I would explain that they should have counted the other Carla's other one. Ah! We did it! Oh my god, you guys are amazing. Is it celebrating in chat? I've heard that it does it. I want to go over and see it. You did it. Your goal is complete, it said Paisley. Oh my god. Yes, no confetti. Wow. Wow. wow, YouTube Daddy, shorting us when we go over the top with Wahoo coming through. Wahoo! Oh, there was confetti. Damn it. Oh, I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad that you all helped. And guess what? Immediate gratification around here because of my ADHD. I'm not like other channels. I can't wait for 3 days and then do it because that's not how I work. But what I can do is do it right now. Was this the first one or was it the second one? I think it was. Okay, we just look at the time. It said 11:33, and this one, it said 11:12. So does that mean this one's first? I think it means this one's first.
Skinner, if you go ahead and announce yourself and give me an opening statement.
Yes, Your Honor. Evan
Sounds
Skinner
like
for
this
the
is where
Office
we
of
are.
the Attorney.
Oh, here we are with Justin Bieber's hair. Oh, and we respect it. He's a lawyer after all. Oh, Brooklyn, how do I know your diagnosis? Well, we birds of a feather flock together. A lot of us have ADHD or neuro non-typicalness around here. I'm neurospicy and unmedicated, if you haven't been able to tell, for a little while. Except for like pure sugar, caffeine, and marijuana. Probably not the best thing to gloat about. But it works for us right now.
Attorney General. We're here today on the state's suit for modification of a support order and motion to confirm support or rearage filed September 18th, 2024. Both parents are present, and it's my understanding that they do have several agreements. It's my understanding that they agree that as of the last day of April 2025, Mr. Howard is paid ahead in the amount of $257.17. And then that should carry forward to apply to his future obligation. And I do have an exhibit to prove that up as well. It's my understanding that parties are also agreed that private health insurance is available to Mr. Howard at a cost of $110 per month, and private dental insurance is available to Ms. Koenig at a cost of $46 a month. That Mr. Howard will continue to carry that health insurance for the children, and that Ms. Koenig will continue to carry that dental insurance, and Mr. Howard will reimburse the $46 cost for the dental insurance.
Okay, got it.
As I understand it,
Do
the
you have a
dispute,
start date on that or not?
June 1st, 2025.
Okay,
As it's my understanding that the parties' dispute is over what Mr. Howard's gross monthly income should be considered at for the purpose of guideline child support. And so I'll take testimony from both parties as to their positions on that. We do also have a pay stub that I'll submit into evidence.
okay. Then the state's going to call witnesses in a moment. I don't know who they call first. It's that prerogative. The other person who's not testifying, please remain silent. Don't try to tell me your case in the middle of somebody else. You'll get your full turn. Unless it's a valid legal objection, just write your thoughts down so you don't forget them, but don't interrupt if at all possible. I'll have to stop you if everybody's talking at the same time anyway, because my record will be garbled. So just with that, Mr. Skinner, go ahead and call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll call Desi Howard.
Okay.
Mr. Howard, could you state your full name for the record?
My name is Desi Howard.
And could you state the names and ages of the children in this case?
Children involved is Dylan Howard, he is 16, and Garrett Howard, who is 12.
And Mr. Howard, I read out some agreements just now. Do those accurately reflect what you agreed to, what you agreed to go along with?
They do.
All right. At this time, I'd like to introduce what I've labeled as State's Exhibit 1, which is the pay record. I did email that to the court.
Okay, have the parties both seen it off record here, or do they need to see it on screen?
Yes, parties, I believe I have shown the pay record to both parties off record. I can share my screen if necessary, Your Honor.
If I have it in an email, I'll find it, but you can talk about it till I do that at least.
Your Honor, it does show, and we are going down to the very bottom line here because we are here on May 1st, that as of the end of April 2025, Mr. Howard was paid ahead in the amount of $257.17.
Okay, we need to take a moment. We fucking roast people all the time, but we have to take a moment and give him the kudos that is deserved. He's paid ahead. He's paid ahead. This case is going to be unique. It's a unique case. I think we should think about the differences maybe from the last case where bro was at his fence. Although I'm still seeing ceiling fans. I don't understand Texans, their ceiling fans, even though I have been to Houston, Texas when it was 110 degrees. I wore this dress on the street. I walked everywhere. People thought I was insane. They said, "You're what? You're walking?" There were not sidewalks everywhere. Mind blown.
Okay. Then I'll take notice of that.
That looks accurate to you, Mr. Howard.
Yes, it does.
All right. At this time, I'll first ask Mr. Howard, you're currently, do you send in a pay stub today to the Office of the Attorney General?
I did.
And you believe that pay stub accurately reflects your earnings for the period it covers?
It does.
At this time, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit 2, which has been labeled as the pay stub. And I actually am not specifically aware if parties have both been shown this off record. Mr. Howard, did you and Ms. Candigan, to your knowledge, both have an opportunity to see this pay stub before we get into the hearing?
I did. I don't know if she had an opportunity to see it.
I'll go ahead and share my screen with that exhibit, Your Honor, if that's all right.
That would be all right.
All right, give me 1 second to get that set up.
Yeah, Evan, YouTube Daddy hates this. We've been over this. Let me review, please.
Now, Mr. Howard, is this the document you sent in?
That is.
And I see that it gives a year-to-date income earned of $35,030.85.
Correct.
And an income for that pay period of $5,560.98.
Correct.
Based on the year-to-date amount, and you, Mr. Howard, are you paid semi-monthly 2 times a month?
Semi-monthly. That's
All
correct.
right. Based on the year-to-date amount provided in this pay stub, I do calculate that if we were to base gross monthly income on that, it would be $10,009 per month. Mr. Howard, do you believe that $10,009 per month is a fair gross monthly income for the court to find you are capable of making?
For how long? I mean, for that period, or what do you mean?
I mean that this pay stub indicates that for the period up through April 15th, 2025, you were being paid at a rate that converted to $10,009 per month before tax. Do you feel that this is an amount of money you'll continue to make going forward?
No, I don't feel that's the amount of money I'll continue to make going forward.
What do you believe will change about your income or about the amount of work you're getting?
Because up until now, I have been able to work some overtime. This pay stub reflects that I was able to work almost 37 hours of overtime. And I know I won't be able to work that. I don't know when I'll be able to work it again, but we have been told through our job that our overtime is going to be cut down because we have had hires. We were short-staffed during this period when I was working those hours, but we have since had hired 13 new employees. So we have been told that our overtime is going to be cut.
Now, do you have an estimate as to what amount of overtime might be available to you in the future?
I don't know. Again, it depends on if we have staff that call out sick or, that some, unexpected things happen, then they'll get staff to come in or staff to stay over and help. But, I don't know the extent of it. Anywhere from 8 to 12 hours would be, I would guess that.
And you paid at a specific rate for the overtime you work?
I'm sorry.
How did they calculate your overtime pay? Is that at a specific rate per hour?
Yes, it is. It's anything past 40 hours is when I get paid overtime.
And what do they pay you for overtime?
It's time and a half.
And what is that rate?
My hourly rate is, I actually called HR. My hourly rate is $35.97 an hour.
And anything beyond that is time and a half.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an estimate or a request to the court as to what you think you might be able to make going forward per month, per paycheck, however it comes to mind?
Again, sir, that it all depends. It fluctuates. It depends on the number of residents we have in the juvenile center. If the population is high, then maybe I will be able to get a little overtime. But if it's low, then again, as I mentioned before, they send people home when the population is low. They'll send some of the staff home because they can't justify having so many staff with so few residents.
But you would be unwilling to agree that you would think that you wouldn't think that you couldn't make this amount in the future. You'd be unwilling to agree to child support based on this income.
No, I don't think I will be able to make that, especially since we just recently had new hires and we've been told that our overtime is going to be cut. So no, I don't think I'll be able to make that.
All right. I'll pass the witness, and I don't know if everybody's gotten a good enough look at this exhibit. Is it all right if I stop screen sharing?
No, hold on. I did notice that it is, well, I didn't see the name at the top, actually. Do you want to roll, there it is, Desi R. Howard.
Yes.
And the pay date was April 30th. However, the pay period is April 1st through April 15th. So you calculated the number of weeks, I guess, and then extrapolated from that, Mr. Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor. He tells me he's paid semi-monthly, and this does appear to be for the first half of April. So I took the year to date and I divided it by 7, multiplied that to get a monthly amount.
Okay. Let me ask you real quick, because I see a seal of Texas, but do you work for the state or for the county, or where do you
For
work?
the county. For the county.
Okay. And then how long have you worked there?
22 years.
And it's all been salaried with the county, and it's all documentable,
ma'am.
I presume. Do you have
Yes,
any
ma'am.
idea when did you file your taxes already?
I have not. I actually asked for an extension to file them.
Okay, but you've got your W-2 for 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know, or do you recall how much it says you made as far as income?
Let me get it. Can you excuse me 1 second so I can grab that?
Do you have that? Sure.
Let's see.
Can we pull his shit down off the screen soon? Also, I think the issue here is that he seems to make that money every year. So her position, I think, will be that she wants to take the yearly income and do it based off that. And he wants to go by, I don't know, some number that he comes up with, I guess. There's a lady in the background of his.
Make sure you tell them they're not taking out the right amount of taxes. And the population.
I can hear you, Ms. Koenig, if you're talking.
Oh, that's not me. That's
Oh, I'm sorry.
coming from Desi.
Okay.
That's the
I
new
want to get
bitch.
off the
Okay.
pay record off the screen, but let me ask real quick, the county, are they helping with your pension? Do you have a 401k or anything like that?
I do have a retirement. Yes, ma'am.
And they take money from your paycheck for that.
Yes, ma'am, they do.
Does the county match it too?
They do.
They do, but on your pay check, it only shows your portion of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And there's not any extra other things on there that are considered income. Let's see, just generic things. Okay. And then what's the differential shift pay, I guess? Is that the overtime part or is it something else?
Yes, that's the overtime part.
Okay. Then I think I don't need to see the pay record anymore, Mr. Skinner. You can remove that.
And just so I can confirm for my own peace of mind, I'm no longer sharing any of my screen or anything that's,
As far as I can tell, it's not on my screen, so
well, if it's not on your screen, I don't think it's on anybody's, so.
correct.
All right.
Okay. Mr. Howard, you found your 2024 W-2?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What does it say as far as those boxes at the top? Right.
It says $100,483 with 54 cents.
And there's sometimes they have a different number for taxable wages and then
Oh, I'm sorry. Taxes withheld. Is that what you're looking for, ma'am?
no, I'm trying to remember. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't look at those things but once a year. At the top where it has wages and then there's a second number
It
wages.
has have Social Security wages and Medicare
Yeah.
wages.
Yes.
Okay, Social Security wages was 108,213 with 54 cents.
Okay. And then the 100,483 is less. Well, what does that show it as?
It says wages. Oh, I'm sorry, were you speaking to me, ma'am?
Taxable wages? Yeah.
No, it just
Yeah,
says wages,
wages.
tips, or other compensation.
Okay. Then, do you have any idea that that's what you've made in the past few years? Or tell me a little bit about last year.
No,
Did that include time or not?
last year it was about $20,000 less.
It was how much?
It was
20,
about 20,000 less. Yes, ma'am.
you mean by last year, 2023, the one before this one, the 2024
Yes,
one?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
20,000 less. And so where did that come from? The extra 20,000 in 2024? Was that overtime?
Yes, that's overtime. It's like I was saying, when the population fluctuates. I know during the summertime our population is really low. I know I know the judges like to release a lot of the residents during the summertime. Um, During the school year, it kind of fluctuates. It's high at some points and low at some points. Especially during the holidays, it's low. But
You're at
after the holidays,
You work for the Gardner Betts Juvenile Center?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so last year was, 2023 was 20,000 less. You were in the 80,000 range?
It was probably right at 80,000. Yes,
And you-
ma'am. It was at 80,000.
And do you recall the year before?
No, ma'am,
2022? No.
I don't recall that one.
Have you always had access to overtime, even or in the last?
The access is, yeah, we always have it, but it's like I said, you may be able, some days you may get 8, 10, some weeks you may get 8, 10 hours a week. Some days you may get, 16 to 20. It depends on the population.
Okay, well, it's a big town and I assume we still have a lot of juveniles that get in trouble, but you've seen a dip this year? Or?
Yeah, there's definitely a dip. It's like I was saying earlier, there's sometimes when it gets so low, they send some of the employees home because they can't justify having so many staff with so few juveniles.
Okay, before I move on, let me ask Mr. Skinner, did you extrapolate what his annual income would be based on the first 3.5 months? Were you able to do that number? And is it anywhere near what numbers we're talking about?
What I find just extrapolating based on
The
let me
current,
check my math, Your Honor, is
yeah, I'd like to, but I have a tiny little
coming
calculator.
up
How you're
with
looking to reach it.
$120,174. Just extrapolating from the year to date on the paycheck, it's about 120K.
Okay. I haven't
I've
done
never made that much in my life.
Okay. Well, that's why I look at past and then I look at current and then we're projecting future here. Nobody really knows the future, but we at least look at past. And Mr. Skinner, you'd be able to get those numbers off of your resources if I asked you to, or if we had to.
I'm
You
not.
could. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna, I'm just saying you have access to those records as well. If somebody looked them up. If you're a salaried employee in the state, I think you would have access. That's the general rule, but you wouldn't even concede that, Mr. Skinner.
Well, yes, ma'am. We have access to certain
Yeah.
things.
Okay, then anything else you want to say on your gross income, which is I guess the only thing I'm trying to sort out today for you. Anything else, Mr. Howard?
So then what happened was I literally filled up my computer. Not joking. But luckily I noticed at some point and began to record again after deleting something. Probably a gem. Probably a terribly good hearing.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm just looking at it.
And now I had to speed it up because I'm like, well, where the fuck are we, Evan? So I think we are where we are.
But from our pleadings, I believe the current controlling orders from early 2022 and it orders a child support amount of $909 monthly.
Do
I
you
can.
do you have the order itself where we have findings? It was a state order, an AG
I'm
order?
pulling that up. It was a state order, and I'm just double checking that it was the right thing. We do. I'm confirming the child support amount of. Pardon me, we're doing this live on there.
Yes.
$909 a month. Yes, I do see that was the previous order, and that was based on an income finding of monthly resources of $5,633.33.
Is that gross or adjusted net? Which one were you referring to?
Looking at the order, that's gross.
Gross.
Yes.
And we did the math, 5633.33 times 12. That's only 67.6. Do you remember if that's what you were making back in around 2022, Mr. Howard?
What was it, the number, ma'am?
I get 67,599.96. So I'm saying $67,600 roughly.
That sounds about right.
So every year it's gone up a
Because-
little. Is that?
Yeah, because I know in 20, give me 1 second, let me look it up. In 20,
Well, I'm looking at 22 to now, whenever that order was, this time period since the last order. There's changed circumstances, and that's why I'm asking what the last one said, the last order.
I want a man to bring me some meat for me to cook and to eat. Oh please, bring me some meat for my mouth.
Do you have access to your records online and trying to figure something out?
yes, ma'am, I'm trying to look them up now. I'm sorry, I apologize.
No, I just want to know what you're doing. That's fine. It might be useful.
Computer is ancient.
I'm really hungry. That's why I'm singing the meat song. The meat in my mouth, that's where
I
it
thought I was gonna be able to
belongs.
put it up, but I don't see it.
You looking for your tax records or your W-2s or something else?
I was looking for, my 2022 salary.
Okay. I hope that the state had that information at the time. Did y'all have an agreement back in 2022 when this last order was entered? Do you remember? Was it a court order where I heard it or another judge heard it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
but
part?
it has been court.
It was a contested hearing, Ms. Koenig, you remember that?
We agreed via mediation.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't a contested hearing, okay.
No.
I'm just trying to figure it all out. Okay, thank you. Anything else for Mr. Howard, Mr. Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor. Just a couple follow-on questions. Mr. Howard, you read out a couple of numbers to the court, previous income amounts. Did those include did that include money that was deducted for retirement expenses?
For which one, sir?
The numbers you read out to the court that you looked up yourself.
For my W-2, those were the numbers I read out.
Okay, yeah, that included money that was deducted for retirement.
I'm not sure if that includes that or not.
Okay. Just then a couple follow-on questions. Mr. Howard, do you have any other children outside this case that are under the age of 18?
I have one that's under the age of 18
And when is she turning 8? When is that kid turning 18?
in July.
In July. And finally, do you have any objection to your name, phone number, email address, home address being printed in this order, Ms. Koenig having that information?
No, I have no objection to it.
All right, that's all for Mr. Howard.
Just to follow up on the 18-year-old in July, are they going to be a graduate this month or they still have another year to go? Or
No, she will be a graduate.
okay, so then she turns 18 and she'll be done with high school. Okay. With the graduation. Okay, thank you. Next witness, Mr. Skinner.
Yes, Your Honor. I will call Casey Koenig. Ms. Koenig, could you state your full name for the record, please?
Yeah, Casey Joe Koenig.
And I read out, and I know it was, a long time ago, but I read out some agreements on the record. Do those reflect things you actually agreed to?
From Glashaw's report order, yes.
No, from the
Current.
going forward, that he's in future pay by about $250. That he's to carry the health insurance at $110 a month cost him, you to carry the dental at $46 a month cost, and him to reimburse for that $46.
Yes.
That's something you all agreed to?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I introduced.
Now, we caught right back up with them. Let's bring it back now. I'm so hungry.
Pay stub to the court. Did you get a chance to see that when it was shared on screen or before in the negotiation?
Yes.
Is your position that the court should use the wages in that pay stub to set Mr. Howard's ongoing child support?
Yes.
Do you believe he's being untruthful, that he's going to be able to get less overtime in the future?
I cannot tell the future. I don't know.
Are you opposed to the court setting his ongoing child support based on an amount lower than the amount shown in the pay stub?
Yes. I am opposed to them going lower than what's in the pay stub. When I pull up his salary has steadily increased since 2007 and 2008. So evidence shows that it will continue to steadily increase, not go down.
And you feel that and you believe that the current order, you believe that he's going to be able to continue making the money shown in the pay stub in the future?
I cannot tell you what the future is. He may get fired tomorrow. I don't know. But what I believe is I think that we need to go according to what the evidence shows.
And do you have any objection to having your phone number, email address, home address printed in the order, and Mr. Howard having that information?
Oh, no, he has them already.
All right. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anything else that you didn't get asked, Ms. Koenig, that you feel like you need to tell the court on the record?
No,
Um, If I remember right, you were there, you said at the hearing in 2000, and I guess it was a negotiation conference at the AG's office in 2022 that y'all resolved that issue?
yes, ma'am. I believe it was online also.
Yeah. Do you have any recollection that the 5633 a month would have resulted in 67 a year at that point?
Yeah, yes, that's correct.
And then after that, you're saying he got more in 2023, more in 2024, more in 20, now more in 2025, just in leaps and
Yes,
bounds.
ma'am. We are both government employees, so his salary is available online, so I can Google his salary. And it has increased since 2022.
Okay, then for my benefit, what do you think it was in 2022, 23, and 24?
In 20, would you like me to, can I share my screen or no?
No, just you're testifying, you tell me when you're on.
Okay, so in 2022, his salary was $84,197. In 2021, his salary was $55,618. In 2023, his salary was $91,123. And in 2024, his salary was $108,530.
Okay, but you understand that the W-2 showed that, however, they don't tax on all of it, they take some of it out for taxes. So, and some of it may have been, maybe retirement, you're aware of that, I assume,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And then it doesn't report 2025 yet? It's not that?
No, ma'am. We're still in 2025. It reports after his annual salary. So usually his reporting is posted after January, after his W-2s are released.
Okay. And then this is a question for Mr. Skinner. Your 2025 wages have not been reported for the first quarter yet, since you don't get them.
No, yeah, we don't
sometime
have
next month.
any,
Yeah.
we don't have any information of that sort to put in front of the court right now.
And that's because there's a lag time of at least a month and a half. We're on the cusp right now for the first quarter of 2025. And you don't have them. Okay. Okay, anything else, ma'am, that you need to say?
No, ma'am.
Okay. State, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
The first thing I need to do is, Mr. Howard, do you want to respond to her testimony or tell me anything else that you think we weren't asked?
Only thing I'd say is it's regarding my salary. Like I said, the number she read out is, I get overtime sometimes, and you can tell by the numbers. Like, my 2024 salary was $74,000, but my base salary was $74,000. But because I was able to work overtime, because we had, a lot of juveniles coming in and out, I was able to work overtime. But it's like I've been saying, I will be able to get some overtime, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to be like, I made $100,000 last year. Who's to say I may even make $78,000 this year? So that was the whole thing. I've said I don't mind paying more, but I don't want to be paying just strictly from my overtime when I'm not going to be able to get that overtime.
Well, what are you considering, sir, as far as what you would tell me the results should be?
I could say I could go. I would probably still mess myself up, but I could go 1250 to 1300.
Okay. Okay, anything else you want to say, Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Hold on. Okay, Ms. Koenig, you have more testimony. Go ahead.
Yes. He said previously that his salary fluctuates depending on the overtime and population. My child support does not fluctuate. It has not fluctuated since 2002. And you can see that the child support agreement has been just what we agreed in 2002, although his income
Wait,
has,
2002 or 2022? I'm sorry, I want to make
I'm
sure.
sorry, 2022.
Okay, thank you.
My fault. His income has increased significantly. However, my child support has not increased significantly. So while his salary fluctuates, my child support stays the same regardless of what he makes.
Okay, well, you get that the court orders here in the state have to be specific. We
Oh,
have to put the number
I totally
down,
understand
the
that, yes.
snapshot in time. We can't get it perfect. We can have you come in, everybody come in once a month to check wages and move it up and down that often. The state does
No,
this every 3 years, just so that you're aware. And yeah, if you catch it earlier, you catch it earlier. If you don't, you don't. There's no real way to
no, I
count it
understand
every day
that.
all the time.
But he wants to go off of something that's based that fluctuates, and I don't want to go off something that's based that fluctuates. I want to go off what he's making right now,
Okay,
not what he thinks he's going to make.
and you're asking for how much in child support? I'm not sure that I heard that number.
I'm asking to go off the income that he's made the last quarter of the year, which under my understanding is nine 1,572 for these two, for June and July, and after August 1,747.
Say that again, June and July, 1572 and what?
In August, starting in August, 1,747. That's the calculation that was given to us, according to this last quarter by Miss, I don't remember her name.
Okay, and we're not at the statutory cap, Mr. Skinner, are we? No.
No, Your Honor, we're not at the statutory cap. The net resources aren't over 9,200.
Okay. Then let me go on to the next thing I need to do. Since y'all are here representing yourselves, you're acting as your own lawyers technically, so you have the right of cross-examination. So Ms. Koenig, do you have any questions for Mr. Howard on the contested issue? I don't want to hear all about y'all's past or anything like that. Just what I need to decide. Any questions for him, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Howard, do you have any questions, cross-exam for Ms. Koenig?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then let me have and state you've rested or you don't have any other witnesses or evidence to present.
I just have a closing, Your Honor, and I have the numbers for the year-to-date amount, which are different from what Ms. Koenig had said. I think there's some miscommunication.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll hear your closing.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is asking to take a judgment of the $257.17 of future pay as of the last day of April, and to go along with the parties' agreements of Mr. Howard to carry the health insurance and to reimburse Ms. Koenig at $46 in dental insurance in dental support for the dental insurance that she carries. It's the state's position that we do have income evidence for Mr. Howard based on what he's currently making right now. That comes out to about $10,009 per month. And the child support guideline amount based on that would be $1,706 monthly for June and July, when Mr. Howard is still receiving the additional child credit, and then from August 1st onward, $1,895 per month until children start emancipating on this case. So that's the state's request. If I can recalculate at a different number if that's the court's ruling, but that's the number I have to hand.
Let me just make sure I understood. The $10,009 a month, as I assume gross. That was your starting figure, Mr. Skinner?
Yes, the gross based on the income that was in the pay stub provided. So what basically the state's calculating it based on what we have hard evidence of.
For the 1 quarter only based, or not even that, for 3.5 months on the one pay stub that he provided for this year.
Yes, Your Honor, we don't have hard, I mean, we don't,
I know,
like,
I
we
know.
can, yeah.
I'm just putting it on the record. That's what you want. 10,009 a month times 12 months. So you're saying his gross would be $120,108. That's what you're basing it on.
Yes.
And then what'd you get for net and then adjusted net? Tell me so I know how you're operating or your math.
I get 7,581 and 24 cents for net. That's after deductions for taxes and for insurance costs. And with adjusted net, I do get $6,823.12.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Net was all the taxes and stuff that's taken out. Adjusted net is after the insurance is taken out, but that's a huge difference. So, or
No, Your Honor, net is after taxes and
Yeah.
insurance are taken out. Adjusted net is the adjustment to account for the additional child outside the case. At least based on what I'm looking at.
No, you'd use a percentage amount on his adjusted net. You don't adjust the net to get the
net. Apologies, I get where you're going now. The
Okay.
net figure, what after taxes and insurance are taken out, is $7,581.24.
Okay, and so that is the adjusted net because it includes the insurance deduction.
Yes.
So that's
And our system shows something labeled adjusted net, which is after an adjustment for the additional child, and it's
okay. Maybe your new system hopefully will fix that. That's coming soon. But okay, you got where I wanted to go. $7,581.24 is the adjusted net, and the rate of percentage that you applied before that child emancipated was what?
Before the child emancipated, it was, bear with me,
Kids
please.
in and one kid out. 22.5%, maybe. Am I guessing right?
Yes, Your Honor, 22.5%.
So that's 7,581.24 times 0.225. That's where you get the 1705. Then I'm getting that number that you got as well. So you
Yes,
got
that's where I get
1706.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where I get 1706, Your Honor.
And then after that, you only did the 20% of 7,581.24.
25%, Your Honor, once the child outside the case emancipates in July.
And that's where you get to 1895. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand your math. That's where I was headed. Okay. However, the state's calculating an income of $120,000, so that's at least a $20,000 increase from last year to now, from 2024 reported wages.
12K because
The taxable income was 100,000, if I remember right. After what was Social Security's taken out.
Fine, yeah, maybe 100.
So you're telling me you want me to base it on 120,000 when the W-2 as recent as December 31st, so last year was roughly 100.
I think the current pay stub we have, and that's in evidence, is the most up-to-date information we have on what he's being paid, and it's the evidence we have. Your Honor, that's my position.
I get that, but you okay. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Skinner?
No, Your Honor.
I know Ms. Koenig's position would align with the state, ma'am. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, closing argument, Mr. Howard, why I shouldn't do that?
Simply because, I mean, like she said, like we all know, we can't predict the future, but I mean, I can't say that I'm going to work 37 hours, a pay period, because I've already been told I'm not going to get that overtime. So for them to say that I'm going to make that amount and I'm going to work 37 hours, I don't agree with that.
I understand that. So you said per pay period, it wasn't per month? The pay period was 37 overtime hours?
For the pay, yes, ma'am.
Because you get paid twice a month, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I've been around here for a long time. I've seen all sorts of cases, high, low, everything in between. I have never, when there has been a person who has steady employment, which I don't get much of to begin with, but I have never based it on just one quarter when there's a history of income. I can't say, Ms. Koenig, and neither can you, Mr. Skinner, that you're guaranteeing he's gonna make 120,000 this year just because his one page stub of 3.5 months says so. We don't have crystal balls. I know I don't. I don't think any of you do. So I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. Yes, it's more. Yes, it's a lot more than the 2022 rate of, what did I get from 2022? In the range of, I don't remember anymore. He makes 67,600 in 2022. So this would be a good 40,000 increase in 3 years. That's not bad. So I'm gonna base it on that W-2 of 100. So can you do some new math for me, Mr.?
Yes, Your
Skinner?
Honor.
Think that's fair?
$100,483.54 was reported wages for 2024.
That's I'm getting $8,373.63 monthly.
Okay, and then to that,
Uh,
my
applying the same percentages, that would produce 1,448 guideline child support until the child outside the case emancipates, and 1,608 guideline child support thereafter.
And what was your adjusted net, or not the computer's adjusted net, but your net figure?
$6,433.69.
Okay. And I know you offered a little less, Mr. Howard, but why shouldn't I do what the math is based on last year's reported wages, which doesn't include all the overtime that your current pay stub shows? I presume. Because it would be a
I'm
lot.
sorry, you understand?
Your
I'm sorry.
position on the numbers that the state just calculated based on last year's wages that you actually did make, and I do have evidence of that.
Right.
You'd still like it a little less, but is there any legal reason or any persuasive reason you would want me to do that?
I mean, the only reason why I said that was because, again, I'm not guaranteed to get the overtime. And she and he both are going based on assuming that I'm going to work as much overtime as I've been working, which I like I said, I will be able to work some overtime, but the whole facility has been told that their overtime is going to get cut because we've had new hires.
Well, you get that I'm not doing that I'm not basing your.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I get that. I get that, and I appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then what I'm gonna do is grant the request for a modification. I'm gonna order a child support of I round things up and down as I see fit, $1,450 a month starting you said June 1st, Mr. Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then starting August 1st, when you're no longer legally responsible for an adult child out of high school, I will round down to $1,600 a month.
And that's based on a gross monthly finding of $8,373.63.
Yes, sir.
$100,483.54 per year.
Well, I think that's, I have to look at my numbers again, but I think if that's what I told you a minute ago.
Just making sure I heard you right.
Yeah, I know. Except I like to spread my paperwork out and then I can't find what I'm. Let's see.
I think that was fair. What do you think about
Got
the judge's
100,
ruling?
483.54.
100,483.54. Yes.
Yes, yeah, then you got it right.
Okay.
Okay, that'll be the order of the court. I'll waive court costs on this one. There'll be no non-disclosure findings, and I'll approve the overpay credit, obviously, and the insurance coverage plus the what was it, the dental support payment father makes to mother?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll grant all of that and I'll render the order, which means it becomes my order. Now, let me tell you this part first. The state's going to draft it. Neither of you have to be happy with it. However, it's my order. So that'll be the ruling of the court. The state's going to draft it the way I ordered it. They're going to send it to you by email. And when you draft it, Mr. Skinner, make sure on their signature lines, it's not form and substance. It's as to form only, so they can acknowledge that's what the court ordered, not that they necessarily agreed with it. And then that preserves their rights, which I think they're preserved anyway, knowing that this was a contested issue. However, make sure that you make that distinction in the signature lines. So when you get it, you can read it. You can see if it says what I say it's supposed to say. You can sign off of it. You're not held to it. You just acknowledge that's what I ordered. And then if you have a chance, please review it as quick as possible. Send it back in, sign it electronically, send it back in. If you don't do that within a week, by next Wednesday, I ask the state to turn in the order without your signature on Thursday. It goes fast. We got a lot of cases. I don't want to be behind hundreds or thousands of orders waiting on people to sign them. So I'm rendering the order in open court under oath. And so you know what I said. So it comes in by paper. Now you sign the paper, you don't sign the paper. I'll sign the paper afterwards, whichever case the case may be. But it gives you 1 week. You can use the weekend if you want. Send it in Monday if you get it today or tomorrow, but not much later than that, please. If you get it and sign it, I get it quicker. It moves quicker. If you don't, you don't. I'll get it when the state has given that 1 week time period to elapse. Then one of you or both of you may be unhappy with my ruling, so maybe you're both find yourselves in higher court. You have the right to appeal this associate judge's decision by filing a written notice of appeal. It's got to be in writing. You got to say what error was made. You got to say what you're appealing that you didn't agree with, whatever. And I'm sure it's the gross monthly amount if you go that way. So you have to put it in writing. You have to file it with the district clerk's office. You have to send a copy to the AG for sure and the other parent as part of this case. Once you send it, you file it and you send it out, you call the district clerk's office and you ask them for a court setting. You can't sit there and wait for them to call you to give you a court date. That's not the way it works. You have to be your own lawyer. You have to get a court date within 30 days in front of a district judge, within 30 days of the filing of your appeal, so they can put it on the district judge's calendar, and then you go and fight it all over again with another judge at a higher level. And whatever happens there. This is a final order unless and until another court overrules me or approves it, whatever. So I think I've done my job. If you want to go appeal, you can do that. I'm going to ask the state also to put as an attachment to this order a notice of de novo rights of appeal. So you have it in writing roughly what you need to do or where you can find the section in the family code to refer to, or you go get a lawyer if you want to, but it goes really fast. The 3 business days in which to file the notice of appeal comes after you get the signed copy from the court. So you're going to get it, doesn't have my signature on it. You're going to send it back. You still don't have it back. Once I sign it, I think DocuSign sends you an automatic copy with my signature on it. That's when your 3 days start running. So it's fast. So be prepared for that, or be prepared to be quick on it. Or if you aren't timely or don't get it done, then your appeal rights are out the window. Okay, I think I've said everything I can say about this case. And now, any questions, Mr. Howard?
No, ma'am.
Any questions, Ms. Koenig?
No, ma'am.
And thank you for your cooperation here today. Good luck to you. All you have to do is priority homework. Anything coming from the Texas Office of the Attorney General on your emails, please start looking as soon as 5 o'clock, maybe tomorrow. I have no idea how quickly Mr. Skinner can get it out, but surely not much after tomorrow, Mr. Skinner.
Should be this afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I can't guarantee anything since I'm not drafting it. So thank you, Mr. Skinner.
What costs you said you waived?
Yeah, I'm waiving them.
Okay, thank you.
Non-disclosure, correct. Okay, then thank you, folks. Good luck to you, and we'll see you in another 3 years, probably.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What cost? It was no non-disclosure.
Yeah, no non-disclosure, and it's over, and now I want meat in my mouth. Oh, I do so bad. But guys, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. What a lovely evening. Members only, I think we are going to do Monday night. It'll be a little bit late, probably around 6, 7, or 8 my time. I appreciate all of you guys, all your funny jokes, all of your support, all of your love. Seriously, appreciate it. I appreciate that you allow me to present my hoard to you and normalize it so that when people ask me about it, I have a reason. I just love it all. I love it all. But do me a favor. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
Ways down, ready to ride.